Hi, take two. Welcome to IDS-410. I'm your new instructor, Michael Fayer. Call me Professor Fayer, call me Mr. Fayer. And please read the Meet Your Instructor that I posted yesterday. I was happy to take over this section of class yesterday. I don't know the circumstances except they asked me and I jumped at it. I already started another section yesterday. I only teach IDS-410 for Southern New Hampshire, so having two sections at once, that's how, you know how they say, double the money, right? So instead of 29, I got 58 students, and again, like I told you, I do not split that in half, I just double my efforts, okay? So having said that, IDS-410, I don't know what, I'll start you off as if it's a clean slate, okay? IDS-410, the way I look at it, problem solving for social change. We're gonna focus on the second word, okay? That's the important thing, solving, okay? So when you think about, am I yelling too? I just got this phone tripod and it's farther away than usually they are. When you say that I wanna research this, I wanna look at this, I want to learn about this topic, problem, you're missing the second word. Second word is solving. Problem solving. This is not problem research. This is not problem I want to look at. This is not problem the other one. It's problem solving, okay? So what does that mean? That means like one of the first students I had 3 years ago sent me a proposal that said that student wanted to solve the Israel-Gaza war. I said, no, you're not, okay? I don't expect an undergrad student to solve major wars in 8 weeks, okay? So let's be real, we're gonna keep it real. That's one of the things. But what I did say is this, instead of you solving the war with your Navy, American Navy dropping off inflatable piers and the UN dropping off pallets of food, all well and good, but it's just plain. It's just Lincoln Logs, it's Legos. It's not doing anything real. You know, I'll take it for granted that the students in my class are not connected to the United States Navy or United Nations insofar as being able to make decisions. Okay, having said that, here's what I'm saying. Instead of that problem solving, here's what you do. I think the student was in Kansas City. I told the student, why don't you go into Kansas City, find a temple, find a mosque, talk to the rabbi, talk to the imam, find out if they're talking to each other. Because as we know, it's a very provocative and high tension topic for 3 years now, isn't it? So are they talking to each other, trying to make peace within the community? And all of a sudden, that student changed topics because that seemed more daunting. They'd rather solve a war that you can decide yourself your opinion of how long it's been going on. You can do that. They would rather do that than go into the community and talk to an imam and a rabbi. Okay, so this is my way. And this case has happened many times. You can't solve homelessness as the condition of homelessness. We're going to call the homeless, we're not going to call them the homeless, we're going to say unhoused. The condition is homelessness. The identity is unhoused, okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Our language progresses as we get better, okay? Just like we're not speaking an old English language and we're not yet towards Star Trek Generation when someone buzzed in Captain Picard's quarters and he would say, come. I mean, they just got rid of in, they just said come. I'm just saying things evolve. So we're gonna try to evolve and say that it's not an identity, okay? Having said that, this course is not political. This course is not about ideologies one way or the other. You get to decide basically what you're going to research, and I'm not going to judge you based on any proclivities I have outside of here. I'm going to be working during this course session. I have a 10-day stint working for Tempe, for Maricopa County as a poll worker. It's my first time as a clerk. I just went through extensive training on that. I go in next Wednesday or next Thursday for 2-hour, 3-hour setup, and I start that week Friday, Saturday, and the following week through Saturday, and then Monday and Tuesday, culminating that Tuesday voting day at 5 in the morning till 9 at night. But they assure me that I can still work, so that's what I'm doing. But I've had experience in problem solving for social change. You can read that in my About Your New Instructor. I cover the bases. One thing I like is my experiences. Something about my experiences should resonate with you, as yours should with me. And this is how we connect, I think. And this is how I want you to feel comfortable as me as your instructor. I went to college when I was 52. Okay, so those of you who are non-traditional students, which is probably almost everybody, all right, is a non-traditional student. You know, we're going to Southern New Hampshire to get that degree, to increase our ceiling in our, or tear off the ceiling in our careers, open up some avenues. So we're going to school. We're going back to school. I went to school at 52. I had 34 blue-collar jobs. I had middle management jobs. I was in tech sales. So I've been in sales. I've been a $6 million a year revenue guy. Okay. I've been in law enforcement, chain of command. I was a sergeant for Milwaukee County, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I was also an officer here in Maricopa County in the corrections venue, okay? And I was sergeant firm but fair, and I was leader of the emergency response team. In any event, I have that experience writing reports, being legal reports that I could take to court and sit on a stand and, and recall the details. I've done that kind of chain of command type of thing. I've done business. I've been an entrepreneur, okay? In the arts, I've been a photographer, paid, wedding photographer, sports photographer, portrait photographer, photojournalist. I went to Ghana and Southwest Africa with Stevie Wonder as a freelance photojournalist. I've done concert photography for American acts like Alicia Keys, John Mayer, Black Eyed Peas, U2, and I worked with Bono at in 1.org, and I actually was working with them on the 360 tour very closely. And then I've done things. I've been a mentor for recently resettled refugees here in Phoenix. I did that for about 3 or 4 years back when I was in school. So I went to college as an artist. I was a paid painter. Now I'm a writer, mixed media and photography, and I've also been a filmmaker. So I've got these things covered: the arts, business, chain of command, law enforcement. Okay, those are 3 main areas that might resonate with you, as the being a single parent, as the starting college at a later life age. Surprisingly, Arizona State University asked me to teach. I stayed there for a while and taught. I then retired, and now I'm teaching for Southern New Hampshire. I'm an enthusiast. I'm an Ernest Hemingway enthusiast. I'm a Key West enthusiast, and I'm a, you can't see it, Colombia enthusiast, Colombia. So I just came back from spending a month down there in May. I've been there 3 times last year, going back again. I have to take off of work from here though when I do that, but I love Colombia, near and dear to my heart. Also a big soccer fan, watching the World Cup. Let's go USA tonight. Also I like Colombia, of course, and just like soccer. I live with my 26-year-old son as my roommate. He's a history major. He's graduated his master's, and he works at the Tempe History Museum. And my oldest son graduated from Arizona State University with journalism. And but anyways, for IDS-410, so you want to keep it local. Think of the bumper sticker. It's a bumper sticker saying, think globally, act locally, okay? Problem solving starts small because it can always be scaled up. It cannot be started big. That's how things get messed up, okay? Because each specific demographic, if you're solving problems related to humans, is different. Are you going to say, I'm going to solve homelessness? Okay. Well, homelessness where? Cody, Wyoming? Brooklyn, New York? Much different in what the dynamics are. Okay, I'm going to solve it in Chicago, Illinois. What part of Chicago? South side, north side, west side. Okay, now I narrow it down there. But who's the homeless demographic? Is it single parents? Is it runaways? Is it veterans? Is it elderly? Now we're getting down again to more specifics. Don't take everything on. You don't have to do that in this course. We have a tendency as Americans, let's say, or as whatever, as people who are ambitious, we like to think big. I'm going to solve the biggest problems. No, you're not. Don't do it. Take it down. Take it down. Shift that paradigm in your head. Take it down. If you want to do sustainability, look at a company that you work for or something. Are they throwing away a lot of paper plates and products? Maybe there's a way. I had a student set up a, silverware and a schedule for different departments to do the dishes with a dishwasher. Got rid of those throwaway stuff. Had towels. Did laundry. Thought it through like that. I've had some students. How about this? A student who worked in the private jet industry, and they upholstered the inside of these private jets on contract. And she noticed that they're wasting a lot of high quality leather. Who would have thought about this, okay? She developed a plan and a program for that company to use that leather as much as possible and then get it to other sources that could use the rest of it, whether that was for money or whatever, but it worked, okay? Solve literacy. Well, you can't just solve literacy, okay? Who's the illiterate that you're gonna work with? Is it kids, teenagers, young adults, elderly? Again, we're into all kinds of different demographics. And where does this take place, okay? Can't do it all. But what you could do, I've had students design a corner library box, exchange books. I've had students design a curriculum program at a community center or a library that they would, get the community involved and have kids come in and do readings and work on things like that, whatever it would be, math, reading, what have you. Okay, they would do this at a local level. It's not that you have to do it, by the way, but I want you to make believe you're gonna do this, because some students do the thing and some don't, but make it doable. If that means you're going to a senior citizen community center and doing some kind of program. I have a lot of people in tech that are gonna teach the elderly more about using technology, okay? I'm 68 years old. I'm good at this. I don't need your help. Anyways, so there's so many different ways to go, all right? Depending on what that problem is, if you start big, just bring it down. Bring it down to a level that you can work with. I'm not gonna ding you because, you only solved homelessness in your community for, single mothers. Oh my God, that blew me away. I mean, some people in terms of access to health care, is it literal access? Do you want to design transportation things that you're seeing? You have to look and see, did something slip through the cracks in your community? Could it be helped? I've had so many things, I can't even begin to tell you the list of things, whether it had to do with internet access, healthcare access, or has to do with transportation, has to do with sustainability, has to do with, like I said, things in the community. I had a student that worked as in administration in a high school, nothing big, but administration said, look, the teacher who was the head of the LGBTQ club left over the summer. We don't have it, the club disbanded. And I think there are some students that are facing some anxiety about that. They really looked at it as a nice, safe place for them to get together and things. Would I be able to? And I said, absolutely. So that student redesigned a whole new program, whole new club, showed how they were gonna recruit students, what the program was, how welcoming it was. Boom, fabulous. And they actually did it, okay? There's a lot of different things, all right? Now, yes, I've had people do things through their church. I've had people do things. I just want to watch out for the big things, okay? Now, you can't come in and say, I want to solve the social problem of abortion, because there's different ways of looking at that and how you define that as a problem or not a problem, okay? That's just the reality. Whether you're completely against it or completely for it, it doesn't matter here. It's not a defined social problem that you could even begin to solve, you understand? Now, access to women's hygiene products, access to, anything in the community, great. Think outside the box. I've had people design a community haircut session for whatever, LGBTQ or whoever, or for veterans that struggle, free haircuts, and Get the community involved. And then you get free advertising. You do this and that. I've had people set up a website with resources for people in their community. What does your community need, or what does the community that you see that's missing something need? This is the important part, and that's why I'm stressing this more than anything. If you keep it small, it's still going to be big. All right, we're going to get into how the research and everything is, and you don't have to solve it in the first week, but you have to get it down. Now I'm going to go through your introductions and your initial thoughts on this, and I'm going to try to give you as detailed a response as possible. But what I'd like you to do is make sure you set up a call with me if you want. I'm available for calls. We talk 15, 20 minutes. We brainstorm. We get you on the right path. You don't spin your wheels and you're off. I can't make any noise today. Okay. Also, remember this. When I said, somebody's going to say, I want to research, this or that, or look at, or whatever. Okay, let's just talk about what research is and what it isn't. Let's say when you're in high school or middle school, you got kids that are like that. They're going to say, oh, I got to do a research report on the Titanic. Okay, does that mean that you got to rent a submarine and take your kid down into the depths of the North Atlantic to discover something new and collect data and then put it together? No. Research in 8th grade means I'm going to go on the computer, or some of us used to go to the library, and I'm going to look up and I'm going to learn about, North Atlantic currents. I'm going to learn about icebergs, strength of steel. I'm going to put it all together and I'm going to hand it in and say, this is my research on the Titanic. Well, in that sense, it's fine. But if you go to a university campus, you'll see the engineering research building, the medical research building, okay? These are built on research, not self-enlightenment. It's not. Research is discovering something new, adding to, Senegal's up 2-0 on Belgium. I always do these things live. It is July 1st, 2026. I don't redo these things. Doing this for 9 years, I think. Okay, so research, yes, we can research a trip to Europe, research a new car. That's how we say it. It's fine. Colloquial, it's research. When you get into the university level of research, you're discovering something new. So this course really isn't about research. Yes, you're researching the problem, you're going to look at the problem, you're going to look at the factors, the dynamics. But this is about developing strategies to get it done. I used to teach an interdisciplinary research class for Arizona State University. And it was similar to this. And we had to explain it. Research is actually discovering something new. So in that sense, what we had to do is we would do surveys, students would do surveys, discover something new about the opinions, preferences, and experiences of others, put that together in a qualitative fashion. Here we're not doing that. Here we're looking at social problems. Also, it's this, solving is the big word, but we can submit parentheses, substitute mitigate, okay? Yes, problem solving for social change. We also can mitigate that problem, okay? Finally, stay away from government funding. Government doesn't fund anything anymore, okay? Nobody here, I'd expect them to be able to describe to me the grant writing they're gonna do to get it. They're gonna find out how much funds are available to solve this problem. Look, if the government could just throw money at a problem, it would go away, they would have done it. We don't look at government funding, okay? Because you're also going to learn that when you look at a problem to solve it, it's likely going to create another problem. Solving one problem creates another one. But we're not going to get into that right now. Also, public awareness. Public awareness, for me, and you'll see it in the coursework curriculum, public awareness brings your problem, drives exactly what it says, the awareness of it, which then can drive a solution. Public awareness in itself is not a solution, okay? I mean, public awareness could be something like a big protest march. That doesn't solve anything. It just brings awareness, and it might bring action. It's the action we're looking for after that, okay? So I'm really pushing my lecture, going on 20 minutes. Welcome to the class. Thanks again. Set up a call with me if you like, but that's all I got for you. I don't know what I missed. Anyways, that's about it. Take care. Peace. I'm out.